I think what inspires me is curiosity and sort of a fascination with the human imagination. That's what I think sort of drives all artists, as a really almost primal fascination with that thing which binds us together, and sort of removing the boundaries on it and sort of exposing illusions and just culture in general. I mean, I'm just fascinated by all forms of culture and how they work and what their appeal is, and I'm really passionate about having my own freedom to be able to say what I really want. There's a lot of noise out there, and in order to be heard you need to shout, and there are points that you think that I'm just piling more noise on top of the noise. Sometimes I think, wouldn't it be great to just get out? But you can't get out. These things are going to be decided for us if we don't decide. My name's Peter Drew and I print posters and stick them up on the street. I'm mostly known for political posters that deal with Australian national identity. I was sticking up posters or street art well before it got political, and I think that came from just a desire for freedom really, and sort of a love of public space being used as a forum for discussion. The shift to sort of political work happened while I was living in Glasgow, and I started to think about what it meant to be Australian. It gets imposed upon you when you live overseas or you travel. People view you as an Australian, and so you're forced to think about what that means. And I want to address that because there are things that I disagreed with, and the things that I did agree with weren't being celebrated as much as I would have liked them to be. And one slogan really cut through, and that was the "Stop the Boats." And I thought that was a particularly ironic thing to be saying from a nation of immigrants. And so I came up with a poster that would parody that slogan. And I stuck up a bunch of them around London, and I'd never thought I could have done political art before then, because I really don't like most political art. But I thought if I did it with a sense of irony, I could enjoy it. I mean, my posters are almost comically authoritarian. I mean, I see the humour in that, and I'm sure plenty of people don't see the humour in that as well. Sometimes I run into problems, and that's kind of the problem with these discussions in a way, is that the people who are just irate stand out. So yeah, I've bumped into people that want to have a confrontation, but they're just a tiny minority. And you talk to so many other people who are just a little bit unsure, and that's ultimately what those posters hopefully do, is give people a sense of strength and unity that allows people to go, well, we don't need to fear these things as much as we do. It comes from more my attitude towards politics and wanting to expose the faults of both sides, and people that think in totality or in moral absolutes. I think it's very frustrating, and I sort of see it from both sides of politics, and so I try to sort of expose that. I think that hysteria and the nationalist sentiment, saying that it's just a nationalist hysteria, is looking only at one side of the coin and misunderstanding it really. And I guess from people that call themselves progressives, there is an assumption that their agenda is literally progress, whereas it's not always, and history shows that. There's also an assumption that by breaking down boundaries and opening up thinking, you are creating progress and helping the world. And that's not true either. And so the conservative impulse is just as human as the liberal impulse, and there needs to be negotiation between those two, rather than just the assumption that your ideology is correct.